more from him. But before we continue, let's take the base language for today. Hello, we go to the Ghana Stock Exchange to find out how the equity market is faring as we close the week. Esther is here to do that.
Hello, Edward. Well, today is the last trading day of the week and the only day where the composite index has registered a change. It has been 0 points since Monday and it was 1.33 points today. The financial stocks was 0 points. Although the most traded equity for today was Cal Bank, it didn't register any price change for today. And the year-to-date change, which is, let's say, our return on investment from the beginning of the year till now, is 46.7%. And with the financial stocks, it's 16.11%. In terms of volume, today we have the second highest for the week, which is 1,726,000, and in terms of value we have the second highest for the week, which is 3,980,000, and the market capitalization increased by 14 million compared to that of yesterday. It was 64.099 and it's 64.113. The trading results, as I said, the financial sector, although Cal Bank was the most traded equity for today, it didn't register any price change. However, the change was in the manufacturing sector. Bob, Benzo Oil Palm Plantation, which gained 40 pesos. It was trading at 4 cedi, is now 4 cedi 40 pesos for today. The most traded equities aside Cal Bank, we have GCB 496,000, and we have Boyle 324,000. And we have MTN Ghana, which normally is the most traded equity for the day, was rather around 27,660. So that sums up about what happened on the stock market for today. All right.
Thank you very much, Esther, for the analysis to wrap up the week's performance with regards to equities on the Ghana Stock Exchange. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at the rice market in Ghana. Hello, welcome back to Market Avenue. Rice is very important when it comes to Christmas. Christmas is just 2 months away, but projections that was made by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture indicated that we'll do 1.2 million metric tons in terms of paddy rice. We want to find out from the convener of Rice Millers Association, Mr. Yadupoku, as to whether we'll be able to hit this target, and even in terms of milled rice, which is 600,000 metric tons, we'll be able to do that this year. You're welcome, Mr. Yadupoku.
Thank you.
Great to have you once again.
Nice coming here once more.
Great. Now let's look at last year before we come to this year. We were hit hard with COVID-19, a lot of our activities came to a standstill. But what did we realize at the end of 2020 in terms of rice production, paddy and milled rice?
Last year was such a scary year, especially up to part of this year. I was a victim of COVID.
Oh wow!
Was on oxygen for more than 2 weeks.
Whoa.
And the Lord made me survive. Anyway, back to our favorite topic. Last year, despite the COVID scare, we did quite good. Government was the Ministry of Agriculture was projecting about 1 million metric tons. We were able to gather about 950 thereabouts from the fields. And because our capacity is not up to the numbers, we're able to do about a third of that, nearly to 50%.
That is the milled rice.
The milled rice.
So you did 950,000 metric tons of paddy.
Yes.
But the milled one, what was the figure?
We were about 500,000 metric tons. That's okay. What we were able to mill. But the farmers were happy because the Nigerians came in. Because of the policies they have put in place out there to curtail importation of sugar and rice. So this created a huge market for the farmers in Nigeria, and it overflowed into the sub-region. So before we could say Jack, the Nigerians were here picking our rice, and they do not discriminate against wild rice and fragrant rice. They picked anything that is rice. And so the farmers were not left in the lurch as it happened previously. They sold almost everything. And that galvanized the farmers into expanding their farms.
This year.
And they did.
Wow.
They did, despite the challenges, they did.
All right, now let's look at this year. Projections were that you would do 1.2 million metric tons paddy and 600,000 metric tons milled rice. Let's start from the paddy and then we'll come to the milled rice.
Yes, averagely we are doing about 5 tons per hectare, which is below the international level. We should be targeting 8 tons. That should be the minimum, up to 10 tons, as others are doing. In fact, in the US,
they do 10 tons per hectare.
Per hectare.
What is making them or giving them that edge on the
good agronomy practices?
Okay.
And using modern techniques and implements, so they are able to achieve that.
Okay.
It comes at a cost, but then you offset it with the yield. We haven't gotten there. We are still doing primitive agriculture, and so once you hit 5 tons, you are so happy. But we are just wasting the land. That is the problem. Looking at it, the government or Minister of Agri projected that we should be doing about 1.4 million metric tons this year. From our end, we think conservatively we should be able to do 1.2 million. But several factors mitigated against that. The major one was the failure of the fertilizer end. We could not get fertilizer. Even on the open market, it was very hard to come by, especially urea. And this year, government slowed down on the subsidy program.
Now let me find out, the urea that you were talking about, is it because of the global supply chain disruption?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was because of the global disruption in supply. That is what brought it. And so it was not peculiar to Ghana, it was all over the world. So we suffered, and our neighbors and everyone suffered, farmers. And coupled with that, subsidies were withdrawn. So everybody has to run helter-skelter looking for wherever they could. And we were able to get MPK, but urea was very hard in coming. So what happened was that those who were at the lower end of the farming could not actually go into it because they were relying on the government subsidy, which translates into actual figures. Government was selling at 50% the value. So
how much is a
about 85 cedis.
Is this 25 kg or
no, 50 kg.
50 kg.
They come in 50 kg.
Okay.
So government was giving it to them 80, 85, maximum 90 cedis.
Okay.
But on the open market, it is about 180 cedis.
Oh, so half of that.
Yes. So they just gave up and went back home. But the commercial farmers who saw the interest last year went in full time and did not mind the price. They went in and did it. And now they are reaping the benefit of it.
Wow.
And the commercial farmers are able to even exceed the 5 tons per hectare because they use tractors and they use harvesters.
Now, if you look at the numbers, the commercial farmers and the peasant ones, in terms of numbers and then contribution they make to the total rice production,
the peasant farmer overwhelms the commercial farmer. It's something we are now experimenting with. A lot of people have realized that farming is a vocation. They could easily make money out of it. So a lot of senior civil servants who have gone on retirement, those about to go on retirement,
are investing in now.
Are investing in farming.
Okay.
And so you go, it's a very interesting phenomenon. But people has just realized that farming is the answer. So commercial farming has started coming up, but it's nowhere near the peasant farming. That is the backbone, and that is where a lot of people are employed. And this year, their performance was below par because they rely on government subsidy and they did not come. Because of that, I'm not very, very sure we can hit the 1.2 million we've projected. But as to 1 million, I'm not afraid. I think we may get 1 million.
In terms of milled rice?
No, paddy.
Okay, this is
the
paddy.
Farm gate.
I'm talking about the
milled rice. We are looking at anywhere between 500 to 600,000 metric tons. That is 10 million 50 kg bags to 12 million 50 kg bags. So give or take about 1 million should be in the market every month. That is the dynamics of it.
Well, now if we look at the southern sector, it looks as if most farmers who went to rice have done harvesting already.
Yes, there is the seasonal thing. So the south starts land preparation long before it is because we follow the rain. We follow the rain pattern. So mostly down south has been sold, except the valley bottom areas where they are fortunate because water is year round, so they're even able to do 3 times.
Of the rice?
Yes, as against 1 time in the north.
So it's been sold. Is it bought by Ghanaian millers or Nigerians as well?
As the market is chaotic, let me say that, because we are competing seriously with the Nigerian buyers. So far, they haven't made the appearance this year. Reason is that they are also harvesting their rice, so they have to finish the homegrown one, and then when demand comes in, they move to the sub-region. So that is the picture we have. I've been talking to farmers as late as this afternoon, and they are not worried as they used to be, because whether it's fresh paddy or dry paddy, there is a market. Nigerians don't eat fresh paddy, they eat parboiled rice. So they had to let it wait maybe 6 months, 1 year, and then they parboil it. That is what the Nigerian delicacy is. We do fresh rice. So if we buy or we don't buy, the farmers are not in a hurry. That is the message they are giving across.
Now, if you go around, do you see, I want to find out whether we see young men and women in this rice business.
Very interesting, very interesting. I think the retirees are handing over the baton to the youth, because a lot of them have seen that they could be entrepreneurs in the farm sector. So a lot of youth, especially those who have gone out there, who have traveled abroad and come back, with the little money that they have and maybe help from family, they are pushing into the agriculture front. Not only rice, but across board. And they are doing good. You go to Asichari, since the ministry decided to expand the irrigation scheme there, a lot of the youth have gone to rent space to do, and they are also mailing and branding in their own style and marketing. This is the new activity going on out there. So I think there is a future for the youth, but we need to safeguard them, protect them, so that outside influence will not come in and frustrate their effort.
What do you mean by outside influence?
Outside influence is this: Ghana eats minimum of 1 million metric tons of milled rice per annum.
Minimum. Wow.
Minimum, because we import.
That is, if you let's see from the perspective of someone watching us. Is it 50 kg? 1 million. What is 1 million in terms of 50 kg or 25 kg? So that they can visualize it.
If I say 1 million metric tons of milled rice, it's times 20.
Of 50 kg.
Of 50 kg.
Oh wow.
Because 20 of the 50 kg makes 1 ton. So you are looking at 20 million 50 kg bags goes into the consumer's table.
Wow.
So it's about 150 kg per person per annum.
150 kg?
No, 50 kg, 50 sorry.
Kg.
50 kg per person per annum.
Oh, okay.
It works roughly that way.
Okay. Is it hand to bag, no?
Yeah. Hand to bag is about twice that.
Twice that.
Yeah,
okay.
That's 100 kg
okay.
bag, yeah. But roughly, that's the
okay, that's this.
Yes, these are 50 kg bags.
Okay.
And in the average home, you may be doing about a minimum of 1 or 2 a year. You know, because some do about 5 kg a month. So 10 months you've done 50 kg.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how it goes. But they are facing a very stiff challenge with the imported rice that is coming into the system. We still haven't found a solution to it because of the need for that site to also be in the market. But here we are, land is available, water is there, people are eager, especially the youth. It's the policies that needs to be put in place that will safeguard their efforts. These policies, I think, are a bit weak. We need to push up our game a little to protect them, and then within a very short period of time, the minister's idea or policy that 2024 we should not depend on imported rice will become a reality.
Now we've talked about the issue of imported rice. Nigeria seems to have succeeded in cutting importation of rice to its barest minimum. What is preventing us from doing so? It's a rocket science.
Interestingly, there's one man here who, together with the Jack Foundation, he used to be a former MP, Atimokwa. Abraham Edu. He and Jack Foundation went to Nigeria to help them to structure their rice farm and value chain, and it worked. So we consulted him to come to our aid so that what he did for Nigeria should be replicated.
So it was a Ghanaian who did what's happened in Nigeria.
Exactly.
So when it comes to the brains, we have it here.
Exactly.
It's just a willingness to.
But you see, in Nigeria, the president himself and the governor of the central bank came together and said, look, we are going to make sure this works. And so money was voted for that particular project. That is to make sure rice importation is cut to zero. So the central bank gave money to the peasant farmers and to the line processors. And in this way, they were able to get farmers to produce and then millers to also mill and bring to the market. Then they have a challenge. They are also used to imported rice. So what the government did was simple. He closed the land borders. And he closed the border against sugar and rice. Overnight, there was no rice. except the local rice.
So we have no option than to change your taste.
Yes, and it's not changing your taste. Our rice tastes better.
But it's because the mindset is always imported rice, you know.
But Buhari,
Vietnam rice.
His Excellency Buhari, for the Nigerians to appreciate what they have. And then within 3 months, there was no rice in Nigeria. And the farmers were euphoric, including the bless. So the aggregators pushed into the sub-region. They started eating, they started eating Benin, Togo, and they entered Ghana and Burkina. Went all the way to Mali and Cote d'Ivoire.
Wow.
They bought all the rice there because the president will not allow rice to be imported into the system, but at least gave some window for sub-regional trade.
Okay.
And because of the Nigeria this year, I think they tripled their farm because they realized that there is a huge market. We are not talking about 1 billion in Nigeria. We are talking about billions of dollars in the rice trade. And everybody has made a beeline for that. And it is working. Something that we can replicate. Because those who went out there to give them that ideas are our own brothers and sisters. From the former president, Jack Foundation, together with Agra and Honorable Odum, they did it. So they are held in high esteem in Nigeria. But here we don't even hear their names. So we have petitioned them to come in so that we also put in a situation paper to the presidency. We are just about done. Telling the president and the Minister of Agriculture the way forward so that 2024 will become a reality.
So, in your view, if these things are not done, it seems to be a mirage to say that we're going to do zero importation of rice.
No, it will be a joke, honestly. It will be a joke. Because let's face it, funding is non-existent when it comes to agriculture. All of us are victims. The banks are afraid of us. We are apprehensive going to the bank because of the interest charges. So
the banks are afraid of you because maybe your farmers also borrow, you don't pay back.
You see, so many factors mitigate. A farmer takes money and they cannot get the fertilizer, for one, cannot get tractor service, two, and they cannot even get a harvester. So his target will not be met, and then the bank is coming in. Everybody is frustrated. That is what is happening. But if we go the Nigerian way, we will address all these issues one by one, and then we will see that we will be exporting to Vietnam as they export to us, import to us.
Wow. And this year, how favorable has the rain whether been to you or disfavorable?
So good, so far so good. Down south, we had no cause to complain. Up north, it was intermittent. Sometimes we were afraid, and then when the flooding came, we said, "Wow!" But then it worked to our good. The unfortunate aspect is that because there was no subsidy, prices have gone up.
Okay.
And it is going to be very difficult for us to even mill. And our benchmark for mill rice comes from the national buffer stock, and their price is the lowest you can find on the market. So we are in a 22 situation. We cannot make ends meet, so the banks will come after us, but the prices is not working. So it plays into the hands of the importers once again.
So Nigerians are out there to take it. Wow, I love the way you're laughing, because you guys are going to laugh once again. All right, so this is how we draw the curtain for this week. There's Market Event. My name is Edward Nyakon. We looked at the rice industry or market in Ghana. God willing, we meet next week. Shalom.